let's take a look at our top selections for Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the second of three graded stakes races at Belmont on Saturday. Race number 5 is the grade 2 Fort Marcy. We're going a mile and an eighth on the inner turf. This could be a key prep for the grade 1 Manhattan a little bit later on this spring. Of course, Kentucky Derby dominating the conversation on Saturday. Head on over to DRF.com where we have your one-stop Derby shop. Derby packages include everything you need to win on Saturday: PPs, betting strategies, clocker reports, and lots more, all at DRF.com. Here's the Fort Marcy, Mike. It's a short field, one dominated by Chad Brown trained entrants. He's got 3 of the 5.
He's got 3 of the 5, including morning line favorite Rock Emperor, who surprisingly, Dad, is still looking for his first stateside win. He's kept pretty good company. I guess he's got him surrounded in a lot of ways.
He might have him also surrounded from a pace standpoint. As we take a look at the pace projector, there doesn't really appear to be a lot of early gas in this race. Tribhuvan might go to the front. I wonder if City Man tries to take up the running, Mike. This horse has shown a little bit of speed in the past, and he's going to be fresh. He hasn't run in about 5 months.
Oh, yeah, true enough. It's hard to say how the pace is going to play out here, Dan. There's really no speeds in the race. I thought it could be City Man, maybe just trying to take the bull by the horns here. Maybe Chad's got 3. Maybe he'll use one of them to set the pace.
Devamani last ran on October 18th in the grade 2 Knickerbocker. He got a lot closer to the pace, probably because the pace was very slow. Let's watch the Knickerbocker run over yielding ground at Belmont. He was able to save ground. He tips to the outside. All in all, it was a pretty good trip against Lesser.
Yeah, a great trip in this race, but as you mentioned, he did keep closer than he usually does. He just wins this race very easily, Dan, against a pretty weak field. The best race that he's run, certainly, in a lot of ways since he's gotten over here. I do think he's improved for Chad Brown since Chad took over. He was never really a winning type, but that was a good performance.
Multiple grade 1 placed in North America is Rock Emperor, but as Mike mentioned, he's still seeking his first win in this country for Chad. And you could argue that maybe he just kind of tailed off form a little bit at the end of last year. He ran in the Joe Hirsch Turf Classic last time out. He kind of got tired. It took him a long time to change leads. I think this layoff is going to do him some good. He's going to take a lot of money, though, and he may not be the winningest type in the world.
Yeah, he's probably the horse to beat, Dan. He ran in a lot of tough races. I know he hasn't won a race since he got over here, but he's running nothing but tougher races than this. I think in a lot of ways, the 1.5 miles of that Turf Classic is just too far for him. I don't think he wants to go that far. So the 1.8 miles is probably better for him. Maybe he's just the best horse in the race. There's a lot to like.
Tribhuvan got a win last time out, but that was way back on the 4th of July. Let's go to that optional claiming race at Belmont Park, where Tribhuvan defeats 3 next out winners, including the horse he battles down the lane with, his coupled entry mate, Balarax, who would return to win the restricted lure with a 97 Beyer speed figure. I'm not sure about Tribhuvan's overall quality, Mike. He has a little bit of ability. He returns off a lengthy layoff as a new gelding. Maybe he's the pace setter.
Yeah, maybe he is. I could certainly see that happen. He was good in that race. I mean, Balarax is an old, hard-hitting kind of horse, a stakes quality horse. He dueled him down at the end to win. They ran him in this race last year. He broke a rein and had to be pulled up. And prior to that, Dan, when his stateside debut, he ran a lot better than it looks in that race. I mean, that pace wasn't fast at all. He came from way out of it and made up a lot of ground.
City Man, the number 4, this will be his first start on turf against older horses. Nothing went right for him in the Alex M. Robb on dirt. He acted up in the gate, and he finally was eased. Just draw a line through that race. Let's go back to his last turf starting, a straight 3-year-old in the Gio Ponte at Aqueduct, going 1 mile and a 16th. Again, he was able to stay close to the pace. That's one of this horse's greatest assets, and he's going to end up getting there with a 91 Beyer speed figure. The 4th place finisher came back to run second in the grade 3 Connolly at Sam Houston with a 92. This horse is going to have to take a step forward, but as a lightly raced 4-year-old, he has that upside.
He does have the upside. This is a good effort here to get the job done. I thought he ran well in that race. I don't know how far he wants to go, Dan. I feel like 1.8 miles could really be pushing it for him. But man, if he just makes his way to the lead here and they just let him walk early, maybe he can get it.
Trainer Jonathan Thomas is having a sensational year, and he won a stakes race on turf off a pretty long layoff with Corelli at Pimlico last week. Wissahickon's going to return from a Saratoga layoff as a new gelding. This is a horse who did most of his damage on the synthetic overseas, but I thought his turf race was okay, considering that he just dropped way, way out of it and then had too much to do late.
Yeah, his turf form over there was actually good too. He's a real wild card in here, Dan. He started out his career over there in Europe like he could be absolutely anything. He won 8 of his first 10 starts. He was really impressive in most of them. And then he kind of tailed off a little bit. They came over for 1 start last year at Saratoga. He didn't run great in there. It feels like it's kind of a bad situation for a European shipper to be in, Dan, in that race with Guido, that really fast Pletcher horse, just ripping off a wicked pace. This horse got totally outrun. And then he just tried to make up some ground late. I didn't think that performance was terrible. I don't know how good he is anymore. Maybe he just can't run anymore, but he started out like he was going to be really, really good. And if he can still run a race like that, he can beat this field.
And as we take a look at our top picks, he's Mike's top selection, and he's also the highest price on David Aragona's morning line. And if this race is run at a more moderate tempo than last time, they could be right together turning into the stretch, and this horse might be one of the stronger closers in the field. Rock Emperor, the 2, could be a now or never. I wonder if Chad's prepping him for the Manhattan, but boy, if he's going to win one, it might be in a race like this.
I agree with you. I think he's the horse to beat in here, and it feels like a good spot for him. I didn't feel like any of the others could beat him. If Wissahickon can get himself back on track, maybe he can beat him.
5213 for Mike, 2135 for me in the Grade 2 Fort Marcy, the second of 3 graded stakes at Belmont on Saturday. Best of luck.